You know, after seeing 50 videos and what's probably 148 thumbnails about how this animation studio is killing Disney, you begin to grow tired of it because of how common it's becoming. Like when the first Mario movie was coming out, they were saying Illumination is killing Disney. Like, brother, it gets to a point. Like, why are we defending Illumination? But then you gotta ask yourself, what could they have done to not get this endless amount of criticism? And then you look back into their past and you find your answer. And that answer is a lot more recent than you think. Warning before we continue, there's going to be an echo in this video because I'm remodeling my house. So I hope you could withstand that. Now, we've all been seeing animation evolve over the years ever since 2018. We got stuff like Spider-Verse, Claws, Soul, Turning Red, Inside Out 2, Elementals, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, Mitchell's vs. the Machines, Wild Robot, and K-pop Demon Hunters. And then you got a global giant by the name of Disney who's been stagnant with their animation style ever since 2013. And I'm not even joking neither. It feels like because of the popularity of Frozen, every single Disney movie after that movie had the exact same art direction of it, which made every Disney film feel the exact same with only minor details. Like recently, Disney released a teaser trailer for their new movie called Hex. And whether it's the Owl House fans ripping into it, calling it a ripoff of Owl House despite this trope existing way before Owl House, or people online already dismissing it because of how generic the animation is and how tropey the dialogue is, I'm kinda in the middle. Kinda like with everything I like, to be honest. On one hand, I'm like, it's a teaser trailer. They're not really the best at advertising what the movie is actually like sometimes. Looking at you, Transformers 1. And on the other hand, I'm like, okay, maybe the cynical people are right. Because, well, first off, screw the dialogue. I've been saying they need a new writing team for a long time now. But it's more so the art direction that I have a problem with. It just follows the exact same formula that every other Disney movie does since Frozen. And I'm like, guys, we have new waves of animation techniques. Can we spice it up a little bit? And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, James, but they had the same art style for such a long time now. Wrong. For Snow White, they tried having more realistic looking characters as opposed to their overhauled animation so that the audience could take the movie a lot more seriously. With Alice in Wonderland, it had more vibrant colors for its environment and played around with character designs to showcase the different body types. With Sleeping Beauty, the movie had more of a shape-based art style, with Aurora's hair being more circular, Maleficent being filled with triangles, and the fairies just being rhombuses. 101 Dalmatians had a sketchy look to its art direction, like it came out of an actual sketchbook. Jungle Book has the exact same art style, but its backgrounds has more of a watercolor look to make it look like more of a jungle. Oliver and Company has its sketchy look as well, but it's more in line with how the Disney Renaissance animated movies would look in the future. Aladdin's art style was inspired by Al Hirschfeld's, which made the animation flow a lot better in so many different scenes. Lion King had an art direction that played with the lighting of its environment to have a bigger impact on certain scenes. Hercules' art style was inspired by ancient Greek art and Gerald Scarfe, which means there were a lot of circular features in the design of the characters. Mulan's art style was obviously inspired by traditional Chinese art. Atlantis the Lost Empire's art style was inspired by comic book artist Mike Mignola. And Lilo and Stitch had Polynesian designs with watercolored backgrounds. I am going to stop there because I do not want to make this video longer than I want it to be. So yeah, Disney can have different art styles, especially with its 3D material. I mean, just look at Pixar. But they weren't all gung-ho on these designs off the rip. No, it had to take a lot of experimentation in order to do that. But you may be asking, how would they be able to experiment with these designs if these movies are the only things we know that came out with them? And that is where we get to my point of this entire video to reach my conclusion of this title. We have to talk about the Disney animated shorts. Usually Disney creates animated shorts that test out new art styles, workflows, and the progression in technology. And there are huge examples of this. The Alice comedy series was the first series to be published under the Disney name, with it being a live-action animation hybrid. Steamboat Willie, which was the debut of Mickey Mouse, was the first synchronized sound cartoon, where the people had to make sound effects for the animated feature at the same time as it was going on, because if you mess up once, you have to restart the whole thing. And that ended up creating the star that is Mickey Mouse. When full 3-strip Technicolor was becoming a thing, Walt Disney jumped at the chance to use this, but he didn't use it right away. He wanted to test how it worked, so he created a short film called The Flower and Trees, and it revolutionized animation, now having color within it and would be used in future Disney projects. When Walt Disney had the idea of Snow White in his mind, they had to create a short with more realistic human designs and move them as if they were actual humans. And it was mainly because they were so used to Rubber Hose animated shorts. So they created the Goddess of Spring short, which was basically a test animation of animating a realistic person and drawing a realistic person. But the animation for that was still in a Rubber Hose-like style, so they ended up using mocap instead. These Disney animated short films are the best examples of how Disney tests out new technology and art styles before going full throttle with them for their big picture movies. And they have been doing it for a long while now, but there is a specific short that I want to talk about that made me realize Disney really could have capitalized when they had the chance. But before we talk about that, we have to go to 2018. And the reason why I say 2018 is because this is when Sony Animation Pictures is about to bring out its big guns. Now, brief history lesson about Sony Animation Pictures. This studio was created to capitalize on the success of CGI animated films like Shrek and Monsters Inc. Or in simpler terms, this studio was created because of greed. So when it came to their animated films, it was just like DreamWorks, where they were very hit or miss, except they had a lot more misses than hits. But that all changed in 2018 when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse released. It was a groundbreaking animation juggernaut. Mixing the styles of both 2D and 3D, Spider-Verse became the most visually appealing movie to ever come out of theaters. And after this movie's release, it created a new wave of animated movies that would have this similar style to this, but do it in their own unique way. And it became the innovator of animation. So you can say that everything that we have now can be traced back to Spider-Verse. Except, not really. You see, Spider-Verse wasn't really the first animated piece of media to combine 2D and 3D animation. It was actually Disney. Back in 2012, Disney released an animated short film called Paperman. It had a fuzzy and noir look to it, with the one color sticking out from everything being the color red. But that's not the only thing I want to highlight about this short film. What I want to highlight is the fact that this is what began the 2D, 3D hybrid of animation we see in movies nowadays. The reason why this short film was made was because the director, John Carr, wanted to bring 2D animation into the modern 3D animated world. And honestly, for a first attempt, they did an amazing job with this short film. And this wasn't the only short film to get this treatment. Another short film by the name of Feast was also made in this style, but it had more pastel colors. You would think by creating these two short films, Disney would capitalize on this art style, leading in a new wave of animated films. But they didn't. They didn't capitalize on this art style at all. Instead, a whole other movie capitalized on this art style, and now it's leading a whole new wave of animated movies. Like, dog, how do you fumble this bad? You were the originator! Like, I get not having this art style from movies like Frozen, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, and Moana, considering those were probably already in production by the time these two films released. But I know you were working on many other movie ideas, and you could at least had one of them had this art style. Like, I know animation could be very time consuming, but when you've already figured out how to do this art style, I think it's right to capitalize on that art style. Oh no, but we gotta keep the same art style because it's the industry standard. Buddy, we're past that. Like, I get if you want to use the Frozen art style for like 4 years, that's fine. But you have been using the same art style for almost 13 years now. And even when they tried to do the same art style like they did with Paperman with Wish, they ended up failing because they couldn't decide on what they wanted to do. And they ended up going back to the original art style. Like, buddy, it's time to retire this art style. Everybody is ahead of you right now. Brother, Pixar, the studio you own, is ahead of you right now. The only reason why I'm this frustrated with Walt Disney Animation Studio is because they have been failing with their movies for the past 7 years now. The only good one was Encanto, but you can't really count Encanto's success because that was mostly on streaming, not in theaters. Like, it's time for a new generation of storytellers and animators to run Walt Disney Animation Studios. I mean, it's the whole reason Ron Clements came out of retirement. They have to evolve the animation and art style of Walt Disney Animation, or else it is going to keep failing its movies because of its stagnation. So yeah, Disney could have capitalized on the art style and be leading the charge for animation today, but they didn't, and Spider-Verse ended up doing so. But the only way they can fix it is if they let the next generation take the helm and try to improve the Walt Disney Animation Studios so that they could be as good as people remember them to be. That's gonna be it for today. If you guys liked the video, you know what to do. I'll see you guys next time.